what are the various public health measures which you would suggest as a safeguard against infectious diseases? Now we'll be learning about the various safeguard techniques through which the spread of the disease can be prevented. Now among them, the first one is education. Now people should be educated about infectious diseases so that they can protect themselves. Now if we are aware, to create awareness about the disease, how it spread and how it can be prevented, or what are the measures through which the disease can be prevented, many of the infectious diseases can be stopped from being spread. So if we know what is the disease, what organism causes the disease, what would be the side effects of the disease, and in what way they can be prevented, so this will reduce the risk of the disease being spread from one person to another. So education plays an important role. Now, since we are aware about so many diseases, we are able to eradicate some of the disease, like smallpox disease is completely eradicated from the world. The next one is vaccination. Now, vaccination is a way to prevent the infection. So, people should be vaccinated against the infectious disease. So, today in the market, there are many vaccinations available for many of the disease. So, if the child is vaccinated in the early stage, then there would be no infections of this particular pathogen. If they infect also, they would not be able to cause the disease. So, the spread of the disease would be minimized over there. So, vaccination is another way in which the spread of the disease can be reduced. Sanitation, personal hygiene, public health help in preventing the spread of various infectious disease. So, sanitation is another important step in preventing the disease. So, generally, when we talk about pathogens, they live in a habitat, where the environment is not clean and hygienic. So that would become the breeding place for the organisms. So if we are able to maintain the personal hygienic and the public hygienic, so that is, if the environment and ourselves maintain a hygienic condition, then the organisms, the pathogens cannot breed or multiply. So this would be one way of reducing the infectious disease. Next, eradication of vector. So many insects acts as a vector. So vectors are one, it acts as a vehicle to deliver the pathogen. They themselves do not cause the disease, but they carry the disease causing microbes within them, and they spread from one person to another. Now, if the number of vectors reduces, then the pathogens, they cannot directly infect its host. So the breeding place of the vector should be prevented. For example, if we take mosquito as an example, mosquito, it multiplies or it breeds in a stagnant water. So such stagnant water around the residential area should be avoided so that the mosquitoes do not multiply. So if the mosquitoes are not there, then the pathogen what it carries will also be reduced. Now if we take an example as a mosquito as a vector, it acts as a vector for a malarial disease, that is Plasmodium vivax. Now that is the pathogen. Plasmodium is a pathogen, but Plasmodium cannot infect on its own. It requires the mosquito. So if we are destroying the habitat of mosquito, that is breeding grounds of mosquito, then the Plasmodium number will also be not available for its infection. So these are some of the methods in which the infectious diseases can be controlled.